Somebody for public comment?
Yeah.
We do.
We have 8 seconds. 7.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Pinkerton.
Here.
Trustee Wood.
Here.
Trustee Tarpley.
Here.
Trustee Henderson.
Here.
Superintendent President Walden.
Here. The complete written request to address the board shall be submitted at the beginning of the open session portion of the meeting. Individuals may comment after being recognized by the board president before board discussion of the particular item according to board policy 2350. We have under item 2.1, Christina Mancilis. You want to come forward? You want to come forward? Thank you. You bring Christmas here?
Merry Christmas.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
You talking to the microphone?
We're really a nice bunch of people, so,
Is that better?
yeah.
Okay. Do I just,
Speak as close as you can so we can hear you.
okay. Is that better? Okay, I'm first going to tell you who I am, and then I'm going to address the issue that you all are going to address later. And then I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the class that the student who made the complaint was in. My name's Christina Mancias, and I'm a member of the Communication Studies program here at Victor Valley College. I'm an educator and a public servant. I believe that I have the unique opportunity in my discipline to teach and demonstrate global citizenship through research and discussion of topics that affect persons other than themselves, the students. As an educator, the whole person concept helps me foster critical thinking and challenges students to explore the moral and ethical aspects of argument. I have the privilege of teaching communication concepts while encouraging reflected appraisal, focusing on compassion, understanding, and the community mindset. I had a complaint lodged against me by a student in my public speaking class, CMS T109. The student who made the complaint was a high school student and was taking my course in the evening on Tuesdays. It was my impression the student was taking the course in a remedial capacity. The student was absent or late often and failed to regularly turn in assignments. She did not participate in class discussions and rarely turned in work. Her performance in the course was subpar. The student never brought a complaint to my attention during our time together in class and spoke to me about her level of comfort with the topics being discussed. I believe the complaint made by the student is retaliatory because she did not do well in the course. The student was not mentally or academically mature enough to complete the course successfully. She earned her final grade just the same as every other student in her class. I never was inappropriate in my words or action towards the student. The topics discussed in the course were tailored around teaching students how to research topics, write and present speeches that were both ethical and free from confirmation bias. Students researched and argued the opposite side of their beliefs or opinions on controversial topics. We discussed statistical data and how to find original sources so data could be evaluated for credibility and relevance, how to make sure an argument is ethical, the moral aspect of an argument, and how to avoid confirmation bias. Students learned through practical application, discussing and debating points while learning how to identify their own biases in order to write fact-based, well-researched speeches. I've dedicated my life as an educator in our community. I've been teaching for about 8 years in the community college. I strive to create a culture of community and integrity in the classroom, and I would be devastated if today that ended. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adjourn to closed session.
I'm doing good.
Got us a lot more. is called to order March 12th. Roll call.
Sorry. Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Tarpley.
Here.
Out of order.
Yeah, you are.
Trustee Pinkerton.
Here.
Trustee Wood.
Here.
Trustee Henderson.
Here.
Student trustee Weiss.
Here.
And Superintendent President Walden.
Here. Right. Mr. Kimberly Cox, would you lead us in the pledge?
With pleasure, sir. If you want to please rise. Place your hand over your heart and say, honor the greatest nation's flag. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, you want to come on forward? Pastor Oscar is
Yes,
with
sir.
the Church of Redemption.
Yes, sir.
Thanks very much for making it tonight. We
Thank you for
appreciate
having me.
it. You got
I
it.
appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Let's go ahead and bow our heads, close our eyes, and let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for being so gracious to each and every one of us, God, for helping us to be alive today and be in this moment, God. Thank you for allowing us to reside and live in this wonderful community, Lord. I just pray for each and every one of these trustee members, Lord, for their hearts and their minds, God, that they would just be humble, Lord, and come before you, God, and everything that they say and everything that they do, Lord. Holy Spirit, fill them up, God. Any type of pride, any type of hurt, any pain of their past, God, I just pray that it will not be an hindrance to Victorville, God, to this community college, Lord. I just pray that you advance this whole community forward, Lord, and that they don't forget about your name and they worship you in every single thought and every single doing, God, and that they just remember to love their neighbor as we love ourselves, God. Bless them and keep them all the days of their life. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. God bless.
Can we have a report out from closed session?
Yes. The board convened in closed session at 5:09 PM. All 5 board members were present. Item 2.1, public employee discipline dismissal release regarding employee number 0313312224 was discussed. On a motion by trustee Tarpley, seconded by trustee Henderson, the board voted 5-0 to dismiss the employee. The employee will be notified of the decision. Item 2.2, conference with legal counsel regarding 2 matters, no reportable action. Item 2.3, conference with legal counsel, initiation of litigation regarding 2 matters, no reportable action. Item 2.4, conference with legal counsel, consideration of tort claim of Jolynn Harvey. No action taken. The matter will be considered again next month. Closed session adjourned at 5:47 PM.
Do we have any items that will be deleted tonight?
We do.
Correct.
Item 16.3, contract ed, San Bernardino County Probation Department. They're working on some legal verbiage that requires revisions, so we will bring this back to you hopefully in April.
Sounds good.
We have a very exciting presentation, and I'm going to let Dr. Walden introduce his athletic team and our great champions tonight. So, Dr. Walden?
So I attended several of the games that the women's basketball team here played. They were so exciting. And the last one that I went to was when they won the conference, and that was a home game, and it was a nail biter. Y'all remember that game? It went into, we were behind at 11 points at halftime, and we never led the entire game until the last second. And I don't know which one of you did it, but tied the game. And we went into overtime. And in overtime,
I don't know you guys know that.
we won by 5 points.
Woo!
So that was just fantastic. So Artie, come on up and bring your folks up here with you.
Thank you, Dr. Walden. Thank you to the Board of Trustees. Dr. Walden's absolutely right. By the way, that was Ebony Black-Smith was the person that had that game winner. She's our MVP, although there was a little discrepancy with who they gave the MVP to in our conference, but she's our MVP. So we just want to recognize our women's basketball team this year. They had an outstanding season this year. From start to finish, they did a great job. I want to commend our coaches for doing a great job, not only recruiting, but coaching these young ladies throughout the entire season. I want to commend our young ladies for the hard work and everything that they did throughout this year. We hosted our first playoff game here at home, first ever playoff game hosted here at home. So that was a great experience for them. Also, our head coach, Coach Troy Hall, won Coach of the Year this year as well in our conference. So I'm going to allow Coach Troy Hall to go ahead and talk a little bit about his team and their accomplishments this year.
Okay. Thank you for first having us, please. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about each girl individual, the things we had to go through, the things they did to help the team. I'm gonna talk about freshmen first. So first I'm talking about Raven. Come up here, Raven, so they can see. She's a 2-star athlete. She was a star athlete, should have been MVP to me on the volleyball team. She did well with them. She came late with basketball team, came, supported us. Her GPA, she went up to, when she got with us, she went up to 2.3, which was pretty good for her because she was doing so much. And she comes all the way from Barstow every day. My next one. Natalie's from Serrano, from Phelan area. She's a 3.8 GPA student, almost 4.0. Somebody gave her a B.
You can always,
Who was it?
you can always round it up publicly, you know?
Passes
one
a
of-
note with their name.
She can just say to them, look at the film, don't look at the grade, you know?
I told her that before, but she's one of our young freshmen upcoming. She did a lot of big things for us. She was our muscle inside. You know, she kind of tricked people a lot because they didn't know she can shoot. So we bring them all the way out and they got to stick her out there and she just knocked down shots. But she's our future star coming next year for sure. And pretty sure we're going to have some Ivy schools for her, that GPA. Dee was our starting center. She came from Cajon, San Bernardino. She traveled, she moved up here. A lot of people didn't recruit her until the last minute. Once I started recruiting her, all the big schools started coming after her, but she fell in love with VBC as soon as I brought her here, and she loved it. She's currently at a 2.7 GPA, which helped bring up our GPA as a team. Last year, we were at around 2.5, 2.6. This year, we're at 3.3, 3.4.
Wow.
That's good.
Great. It's not embarrassing at all.
This is our starting point guard. And this one, we had to drag her back from Oregon. She was at Oregon University for education first, and we begged her to come back. She's originally from Oak Hills High School. She came back. She didn't want to play at first, but we enjoyed giving her the ball, and she took care of the team. She ran, made sure everybody got where they needed to go. Her GPA was a 3.2. And she's coming back next year. Alyssa, she's one of our girls from Lucerne. She had a family situation, 6 foot tall girl. She's a 4.0 student. She was a regular student here, just regular, and I asked her to play, and she came out, and now she loves it. She told me she can't wait till next year to be back. Sophomores, come on. Miss Murphy, Lexi Murphy is from San Bernardino. She's one of the students that we're really proud about. Last year, she struggled in school. This year, she got up to, 2.8? Oh, it was like 3.0, I'm sorry. She got to 3.0 this year, and that was a good achievement because she was at 1.9 last year. So her first year was struggle. This year, she dedicated herself, and She made honor roll, and I'm proud of her. Right now, I'm talking to 2 4-year schools, trying to figure out how we can get her signed and committed after next week. So that's a good thing. Come on. No, I'm gonna do. This is my favorite Aaliyah now. We call her Big Aaliyah. We have 2 Aaliyahs on the team. This one, she played 2 years ago. She had a family situation where they moved out of state, but she wanted to be dedicated and come back. So she came, got her grades right. She found a way somewhere to stay because she wanted to come back and play and graduate from BBC. That was her biggest thing. And she's about to graduate from BBC this year. And she also has 2 schools looking at her, looking to sign her next week after the showcase. Come on. This one, she's from Oak Hills too. I've been knowing her for a long time. She started as a freshman, she was one of our captains, started as a sophomore. Aaliyah GPA, she was one of the good girls from last year's team. Let's just say that. Her GPA was good this year, stay high again. She have offers from, let me tell them schools. Okay. Humboldt State, Cal State LA, Cal State San Bernardino, and Florida Memorial that are offering. So we just waiting to see where she's going to sign after next week. And she's one of our big scorers for the team. Same with her. This is Mariah Burley. I don't know if y'all remember that name, but her 2 older sisters played for us. They helped our program grow and become a lead program. So she's the baby, no more Burleys. I feel sorry for that. But GPA student, 3.5, always stayed on top of books, worked full-time job, went to school full-time, and played basketball full-time.
Wow.
I don't know how she did it, but she did it. But she also has, she talked to one coach today, so he told me he might offer the world because of her GPA. But she's going to sign probably to Humboldt State, or we don't know the second one yet. She's still deciding. She don't want to go too far. But most likely they're going to stay in California. But she's going to sign commit next week. That's heavy.
What?
Long Beach.
Oh.
And then this one, make sure I don't forget nobody. No? Okay. This one's Ebony Blacksmith. She's a family to me. I've been knowing her since she was 6th grade. She's a tremendous student. She's older. Nobody knew. She had a kid, so she came back and she wanted to finish school. So I said, well, just play basketball one more year. Finish school, get your AA. So she made herself, she dedicated herself to it. Barstow made it hard for her last year, so she had to sit out last year. She came this year. She's averaging double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds a game. She was second in state in block shots, which helped our team be number 3 defense all-time, first ever, with her and T in block shots. The sky's the limit for her. She has 3 D1 schools and every D2 school that want to sign her. Wow. She came out of Silverado. Mr. Pinkerton, he remember her.
Way to go, John.
That was her counselor at Silverado.
We already knew when he asked.
And then, of course, I have my wonderful coaching staff. They were there support, doing all the hard work for me, made my job easier. I just want to say thank you for them. They come every day with no problem, no question, and they did everything for the girls to help us support and get to the next level. And thank you, Mr. Hardy, for support.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Those seeking autographs can go outside.
Yeah, there's gonna be some in here.
That's cool.
Public comments. Public comments related to non-agendized items. At this time, the Board of Trustees will listen to communication from the public on non-agendized items pertaining to college business. Each speaker is limited to one presentation per meeting on non-agendized matters. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual and a total of 15 minutes per topic. Speakers will be timed electronically, and all speakers will be called to approach the microphone at the appropriate time to speak. Only those that have been recognized by the board president will be permitted to speak. State law prohibits the board from addressing any issues not included on the agenda according to Board Policy 2350. We have 3 people on non-agendized items, and I have Richard Radcliffe. Dr. Radcliffe, I'm sorry, Richard. You always
Evening.
dress so good, you know?
Evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Walden, Jennifer Weiss. As Haley's passing out this flyer, I really had intended to have Marie Hedges here this evening to do this presentation. She's been working really hard with our cosmetology program, and so we wanted to make a public announcement that we'll be opening for salon services in our cosmetology program. These are the prices. As you can see at the top, the extension to call to set up an appointment, or you can send an email to salon.appointments@vvc.edu. And so we're going to do a soft open. I'm going to work with Mr. Sewell tomorrow morning to send an email out to Rams with an updated version of this flyer. And then we'll do a bigger social media and publicity blast at spring break time so that we can open to the general public after spring break. Any questions?
What are the hours?
So-
I have a lot of questions.
Our students are in class from approximately 8 o'clock in the morning until 8:20 in the evening.
Good answer.
But we have some lecture time in there, so that's why we didn't print the times on, because at least as we get started, we'll need to work with the clients to set up a time that works for instruction as well as for the clients.
I'll just put a plug in. There's nothing better for a guy than having a pedicure. So if you haven't had one, step up and go get one. You'll get them every month. They're great. So
Absolutely.
anything else?
Thank you very much.
Lauren Golder. Did I pronounce it right? Did I get it right? You did. Oh, good.
Good evening. So my name is Lauren Golder. I'm on the board of the VVC Part-Time Faculty Union. You might recognize me from last year. I've been teaching history here at VVC since 2019. And first off, I want to express how much we at the Part-Time Faculty Union really appreciate VVC working with us during our contract negotiations last year. In our most recent contract, part-timers received a raise as well as access to partial reimbursement of healthcare premiums. These things have significantly improved the lives of all of our part-time faculty here at VVC, and so we really want to express our gratitude. Second, as you know, we are planning to reopen healthcare negotiations this spring. While the partial healthcare reimbursement program we have now is a big improvement, it's unfortunately still not enough to cover the healthcare costs for many of our members with children and families. So we're hopeful that VVC will be willing to accept our proposal of 100% healthcare coverage for part-timers funded by the state of California's part-time faculty healthcare insurance program at no cost to the district. So over the next few months, our members will be speaking at these meetings to tell you why full healthcare coverage is so important to them. Part-time faculty work really hard for VVC, and access to quality, affordable healthcare will allow us to better serve our students and continue building a caring campus. Thank you.
Thank you. Caleb Castaneda, is that right? Did I butcher it?
Yes, sir.
Close?
Caleb.
Oh, Caleb, I'm sorry. My eyes are as bad as I speak.
Dr. Walden, President Brady, the rest of the board, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And I haven't been able to come back here since the last negotiating session, but I want to personally thank you for the excellent benefits that you gave us, because I am now able to get 100% reimbursement for my health care. That's huge for someone like myself. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. Today, I want to speak to you about guided pathways, because I'd like to know what I can do to help you. There are, the state gives us these guided pathways goals, and then I feel like we're kind of on our own. We got to try to figure out they want our graduation rates to get up. It's a laudable goal. But how are we going to do it? Well, if we are successful, they're going to have to build more UCs and CSUs, but that's not my problem. You have between 400 and 500 adjunct instructors here. Many of us, not all, but many of us would like to be a part of that. We'd like to be a part of working. We have a non-instructional rate built into our contract. So they could do it. They could utilize our help. And, when I was at an undergrad at Pitzer College, I had faculty advisors. I had 2 faculty advisors. And that's a big help if you can go to a faculty member. I'm not talking about doing counseling work. I'm just talking about working with the students, taking an interest in the students' lives, saying, hey, what do you need help with? Maybe I can give you some help writing that paper. Those are huge for our students. And if they get that kind of investment from our part-time faculty, I think that we'll be able to meet our goals for higher graduation rates. So I'd like to be of help. If you need adjunct instructors for anything, I'd like to volunteer my services, and I hope that you'll take us up on it.
Great, thanks. It's always nice to hear that. Our next section, section 5, is rather exciting, and before I introduce our 2 joint speakers tonight, I do want to recognize Michael Page. Michael has been on the Mojave Water Agency Board for probably 20 years. He sits, Kimberly, in this District 4 that he's involved in. So he represents our district right here, and he was able to help us broker having Dr. Kimberly Cox and Adnan. Adnan, first thing, I apologize for the lack of recognition when you came out tonight. 2, I can't pronounce your last name, so can you just help me a little bit?
Adnan and Atawi. I've got the toughest name on the agenda.
I was just going to say that, but so let me properly introduce these 2 people, because water is a huge issue on out here. We live in the desert. I believe we're going to double in size in the next 20 years to over 1,000,001 people. So Dr. Cox, currently Dr. Cox is the general manager of the Hellendale Community Services District, a position she has held for 17 years. She previously worked in city government for 8 years. Dr. Cox is an adjunct professor for Cal Baptist University and formerly part of the adjunct faculty here at VVC. She is honored by the VVC Foundation as a former Alumni of the Year. A recognized water expert, Dr. Cox was appointed in 2013 and reappointed 3 times by Governors Edwin G. Brown Jr., Governor Gavin Newsom to serve on the Lahontan Regional Water Quality Board. Lahontan is responsible for protecting water quality within Region 6 of the state. There are 9 water quality regions in the state. Dr. Cox has served on the San Bernardino County Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, since 2004, representing 54 special districts in the county. She also serves on the San Bernardino County Solid Waste Task Force, representing special districts. Kimberly was first elected to the board of directors of the Mojave Water Agency in 2003, representing Division 1 and has been on the board for over 21 years. So resident of the High Desert since 1985, she brings professional expertise in city government and special districts, as well as expertise in water management to the Mojave Water Agency. Dr. Cox holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management and Master's degree in Public Administration, with an emphasis in water management resource and a doctorate in Public Administration. Her dissertation entitled the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act of 2014, a comparative analysis of alternative management plans and adjudication, reached the compliance nuances of available alternatives to the formation of groundwater sustainability. Adnan, so they're both going to come up at the same time. Adnan is the general manager of the Mojave Water Agency, a state water contractor on the east branch of the State Water Project that serves almost 5,000 square miles of the high desert region. He has over a decade of experience in California water, particularly in the large-scale water resources challenges across the state. At the Mojave Water Agency, Adnan manages the day-to-day of the agency and helps develop and implement policies and programs to ensure the region has access to reliable and affordable imported water supplies. Prior to joining the Mojave Water Agency, Adnan worked for the global engineering firm on the planning, design, and construction of various water infrastructure projects. He's been involved in water management planning efforts across the state and has designed and managed water conveyance, storage, treatment projects in both municipal and industrial sectors. He's a registered professional engineer in California and Washington, received his Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of California, Irvine, and a Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering from Stanford University. So why don't you both come on up, and they're going to talk for 10 or 12 minutes about the Mojave Water Agency, what they do, their impact, and ultimately what their impact has, what the correlation is to Victor Valley Community College in our region. Welcome.
Well, thank you, President Brady. It's a pleasure to be here. Nice to see you all. Before I get into the conversation of water, I need to compliment this organization. This is where I got my start. So the students in the room, one class at a time, one day at a time. It took me 8 years to finish my associates as a single mother raising 3 children alone. You can do it, just one step at a time. And I think one of the pinnacles of my career was being honored by the foundation for those achievements. Nobody knows those struggles that these students go through day in and day out. And for the foundation to bestow that award upon me just meant everything. It meant more than anything to me, because I knew as a single mom the struggles it took to better myself, to better my career for my children's future. So for you kids in the room, keep at it every single day.
Thanks, that's great.
So for water, I absolutely love this topic. When I finished my bachelor's degree and got a job with the city of Hesperia as their water resource specialist, that was on the cutting edge of water conservation. And as I grew and learned more about how important our water resources are in the high desert, I just became very, very passionate that this is an area of service for me to ensure the sustainability for water for this region. I moved here in 1985. I think Mr. Brady came a few years after that. But the expansive growth that we have seen in this region. When I moved here, city of Victorville had 37,000 people. Now we are well over, 150,000. So one of the most critical resources to ensure the sustainability of the lives that we have all come to know is ensuring that we have water for the future. There are competing state laws that require development to prove up the water. We're not going to get any more building until we can ensure that we have water to sustain that development, the houses, the commercial development, where we can all have jobs, where our youth that we're raising up have a place to work. And that's where the Mojave Water Agency comes into play. This organization was founded by an act of the state legislature in 1960 with the purpose to ensure the sustainability of water for this region. Long about the 1980s, the competition for that resource grew, and we entered into a stipulated judgment known as the adjudication. And it's that very challenging agreement where everybody shares the pain that is going to ensure the water for this region into the future. We've got so much growth and development coming with the Barstow Big project, with all of the big boxes here, with the aviation growth at the airport. And as an educational institution, we want these opportunities for our students to be able to get the education from you that they need to stay here, to raise their family, to have good paying jobs, so we're not losing our children to other areas. So Mojave Water Agency is doing our part in bringing water into the region. Last year was an extraordinary year where we were able to import how many thousands of acre feet?
100,000.
100,000 acre feet of water into this basin. You all see the State Water Project canal that runs through our area. We have rights to that canal, and for the first time ever, on the heels of a reeling drought, we were able to bring in 100,000 acre feet. That's why you saw the water flowing in the river. We were able to rehydrate those thirsty groundwater aquifer, and that's why the rain that we've gotten now is visible above surface. Well, enough of me. We have a very interesting engineer to tell you about some of the projects we have. Adnan?
Thank you, Dr. Cox. It's such a pleasure to be here. I want to say on a personal note, I too am a product of the community college systems in California. I went to Saddleback Community College. I was a pretty bad student for a while. It took me a while to figure it out, but we have some of the most impressive academic institutions in this state that afford us all the opportunity there is out there in the world. So I'm inspired when I come to campuses and I see, the future, the generation we've got ahead of us. Keep with it, follow your dreams. There's a lot of opportunity, and as Dr. Cox mentioned, there's a lot of interesting places to work. The agency is, we don't get out there. People don't know about us very often until you're in the water world and you sort of start to delve deep into it. But we've got a big charge. We've got a staff of less than 50 people, and we've got to manage 5,000 square miles of service area. And that's a really monumental challenge. From infrastructure to water management, basin health management, making sure that we're out there in the community, understanding what it is that we do, how we plug in. And so it's just, it's a really interesting place to work. I'll talk personally a little bit about myself. I never saw myself as a public agency employee, ever. It would never cross my mind. I was in private consulting, and it happened to be that there was an opportunity. I sort of thought, maybe it's worth exploring. Let me see if this is interesting to me. I have been just dumbfounded, floored at the quality of both our staff at the agency as well as our electeds. Dr. Cox has been with the agency and setting policy and procedures for 20 years. And it shows how on the forefront, on the cutting edge that this agency has been in terms of managing water as a resource. It's a very slow-moving industry, but yet we manage to be disruptive and inventive when it comes to that management. So it's been just a remarkable journey. Dr. Cox mentioned 100,000 acre-feet of import, and sometimes it's hard to grasp. We talk about acre-feet of water. That's the unit of measure we use for the volumes that we deal with. An acre-foot is about enough to serve two to four households on average. So you can see 100,000 is quite a lot, right? Up to 400,000 households, water parked in the ground. And that's just the imported supply to augment what we naturally get. That represents many, probably, multiple years of demand in our service area. The reason why we did that is because we had the year we had last year. Last year has been called an extreme year, wet hydrology. And we talk about, we hear about climate change, we hear about the change in hydrology, the change in temperature, wildfires, So when we talk about extreme years, it's actually becoming pretty normal. It's just what side of that extreme spectrum you're on. Are you on the wet or the dry side? So we have to manage around that. And that's a really challenging task. And so amidst, the changes, the growth, the demand, the increases in what we want to do here in the region, for land use, for growth, for livelihood and longevity of the region, we also have to manage a supply that's getting more and more difficult to manage. And so that takes really, that takes brains, it takes tenacity, it takes inventiveness to be able to tackle over time. And so I will say that I've been really impressed with the decisions the agency has made over the years. Last year's success story in terms of import wasn't because of just the actions of that year. It was the many years leading up to that year. It takes planning, executing on the plan, being able to be nimble, pivot, and understand how our changing environment is something that we need to adapt to. So I have great confidence, and I want you to know that this agency really thinks about how the region is growing and how we're managing a really tough resource to manage. And so it's been encouraging to see, and it's great. We really appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk to an audience we don't often get to talk to about the nerdy stuff that we deal with every day. So thank you.
Does the board have any questions? No. Student
Thank
trustee,
you.
anybody?
It was
I'll
a
just say
learning
this,
speech.
our industry has to deal with air quality, water and all that, and you run a really good operation out there, and you've done a really good job. When I left Santa Barbara, we were required to do 6 dwelling units on 1 acre feet, and that was in 1988. That's the reason I moved here. I couldn't afford to play, so.
So we just want to thank you for what you do. We need students that know GIS, students that have a technology-driven brain. This is what is going to get us through the future. So keep doing what you're doing. construction technology classes, anything like that will help prepare your students for the future workforce that we need. So thank you.
If I could tell Dr. Cox this, because I know you're involved in a lot of groups. The college is working with different industries right now, monthly lunches, 20 people at the table. They meet with the deans, they meet with Dr. Walden to hear, we want to know what they need. If we know what they need, then we can deliver. So we're getting down that level because we understand if the growth is going to come here, we got to be prepared for it. So appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5.3, the Spring Valley Lake Association voting process discussion. I thought I would lead this off and put it on the agenda as a public document for the first time in the 13 years I've been here. Many years ago, starting probably about 2000, I was involved with Spring Valley Lake, and we kind of worked the voting here on the board, and we had 19 votes, and it all kind of came across. This year, we have, I think, 10 members running within the association. And I've talked to Dr. Walden about it. It happens the same time every year. The vote within the association of 4,215 lots occurs last Saturday of April. But I thought it'd be good for the board to discuss a policy about, one, how do we notify the association? Okay, in the past, what happens is, I live there, I'm a member of the country club. Everybody, will say something, and somebody will call and say, hey, when are they going to do the vote? And this year, I said to Dr. Walden, I said, I don't think it's appropriate for me to get in the middle of it. So do we have a discussion and talk about not only this year, but future years about how do we communicate? We had Alfred Logan here last month talking about, having a working relationship with Frank Castanos and the board here. And then I think the second thing is how we vote. There are 9 or 10 candidates that are going to be a part of the April discussion. So one, how do you suggest that we notify them? Do we have Michelle just notify Alfred Logan that there'll be an agendized item, they come in and they get their 3 minutes of fame? And then how do we vote? We can get in this long discussion about, well, I like that person because they said this and I like that person. The more I've really thought about this, and I spend 6 days a week, early in the morning in a sauna at 108 degrees, so it makes you kind of think, how can we do something, and maybe Dr. Walden has an idea, or Michelle, how can we do a concealed vote to where we're really able to vote as a board, and we're voting for, we have 19 votes, there's 4 candidates up, so we don't have to go through this big love story, let everybody do their deal, and until we come to those 4 people, we just keep doing a quick vote until you say we've got 4 people that we've selected quietly. Kind of a quiet nomination.
Can you just explain what you mean by quietly? Like have a closed session?
No, not a closed session, just a quiet ballot. So I can tell you when I was appointed on the board that night, the board voted amongst themselves.
I know, I went through it as well recently.
Yeah. So it was kind of like you kind of checked it off. So you didn't know if you were out there who kind of liked you and who didn't.
Right.
Okay.
It's scary.
Candidly, the problem is I live in Spring Valley Lake and I know everybody. So, I mean, that becomes the other big problem is I want to kind of stay out of it.
There's 2 things. One is, I believe we did this last year where we sent a notice to the head of the association to notify all of the candidates that they would have a space at the board to come and speak and basically do their pitch. We'll tell you, when you vote, though, the Brown Act requires that your vote be public and your name be attached to your vote. So you aren't able to cast legally secret ballots. So how you get there from here, I don't know, but you at the end of the day, you've got to give a public vote that is not secret ballots, so.
I mean, did somebody come after you, Joe? Like, what happened?
No.
What's with this Spring Valley Lake place?
Shady.
Jennifer, let's be, we have 4,215 lots in there.
Right.
And we have 10 people and I probably know them all.
Right.
And so I don't want to get in the middle of friendships and, there might be 6 people in there that I know that, 4. So I'm just expressing my concern. The board can do what they want and we'll move forward as a collective body.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Pretty
think that we
simple.
can do a quiet vote or a secret vote. I
Well,
don't know how we.
Here's one, this was a technique that we used once before, was that we have kind of a ranking system. So each trustee ranks like their first choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice. Why are you turning up your nose already? You don't even know where I'm going.
Sorry, it's just my face. My listening
Your
face.
Each trustee would rank, kind of rank the candidates, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, and then they'd be tallied to see if people naturally rise to the top. Strangely enough, it actually works, because what'll happen is you'll have, like 4 trustees pick somebody as number 1 and another trustee pick them as their number 2 choice. And so you can kind of shuffle out the deck into a preference without people saying a preference. We're not voting yet, but then for the Brown Act issue, then somebody could make a motion that our votes be cast for the top 4 off the list. It strangely enough, you would think that that you'd end up all over the map, but strangely enough, we've done that before in a couple of issues, and it worked. That it seemed like there was consensus without anybody coordinating.
So let me tell Trustee Tarpley, the night that I competed against 12 people, they had a secret vote. And ultimately, after I became a trustee, because it was a public document and everything that was written down, I got a copy of what people wrote up here. So I got to see what they said versus what they wrote. So that was part of the thought process.
What did they say?
I know.
Put them on the big screen, Tim.
No, I'm gonna tell you,
Interested.
you know what, I had no idea that you could ask for that. And I did. And
Well,
what I saw
I
was
didn't ask
shocking.
for that because
but
I
it
don't
didn't
want to
matter.
know what people think of me. That is not something that I'm interested in knowing.
A second ago, I thought your face was funny.
It is funny
So-
every day. This is what I look like.
So Trustee Wood, I mean, I think for Dr. Walden, would that work? Is that legal?
Well, I will consult with legal counsel and get back with you.
Okay. That's
Right, it's in the kind of balloting that way, that's not actually the vote. So the vote comes from a motion and a vote.
Right.
Well, how we normally.
No, I hear you. I think I know what you're asking for.
Right.
So
I
do
mean,
we
it's-
have do we have a trustee that tallies?
But is that a lot of extra work
No, it'd
for
be the-
it's a-
Michelle?
It is a little bit of work, yeah, no, it is, I mean,
Right,
it's,
so like,
There were, if I recall, there were a lot of like motion and seconds, and then we'd have to do it again, like.
Right.
We went on for almost an hour, I think, last year. Part of it is trying to cut down.
well, all the people that came, it was like,
Well, no, but we
a lot
kept
of
going
people.
back and forth with, well, that guy, and well, no, that guy, that,
I mean, we still need to have discussion,
Yeah.
but at the end of that, I think if we rank the candidates in the way that we see them, we pass them to Michelle. Michelle goes through and tallies the documents where we rank them can be kept for the record. And we'll see if people don't rise to the top like that.
So I'm
Unless you wanna
gonna,
do it some other way.
I'm gonna work with Dr. Walden on some form of this. And before I forget, Michelle, would you please introduce your new associate? Oh, you are? Okay. I just looked at our.
want to be
no.
cognizant of extra work on the staff.
Yeah,
That's
when we get to
all.
the president's report, I'll.
Understand,
Because they do enough already.
understand. Okay, next one
More
is,
than enough.
no, I get it. Trustee Wood, thank you for your suggestion. Board of Trustee goals. Who's?
Sharon.
Me.
Trustee
Hello,
Pinkerton.
everyone. I have board goal 3, and that is implementing racial equity interventions to close existing gaps. So John and I, we went to, last month, we went to celebrate the Black History Month, and John and I attended the Michael Edwards Black History Celebration. And Justified, who is the founder of Fathers in Hip Hop, who is here tonight. Can you wave to everybody? He's right behind you. Put on a fantastic program, absolutely fantastic. We also had local Black Panthers, Black pastors that participated.
That's good.
That
She said
participated in the
pastors.
resource panel. and teachers from Barstow College and also our local schools, including our own Frank Foster and Tim Adele, who addressed academic concerns. Also, BSU had an event also here too, and I think Corey was fixing crazy tacos for that, right? Yeah. And then in February, we went to Robert's annual Marvin Gaye tribute concert with Dorian Gray. That was really good. We also went to the VVUHSD State of the District, and Trustee Brady, Chris Piercy, John and I were there. Trustee Brady and Chris Piercy and I were called up to recognize two students, and one was Gerald Wright, and the other one was Preston Brown. And Gerald Wright, he finished a whole year of college here at VVC, which en route to graduating from high school. And then the other one is Preston Brown, and he came from Silverado, and he graduated from VVC here, and now he is employed with Victor Valley Union High School District, and he heads up the media department there. And today, John and I met with Dr. Coles, Dr. Yee, and Trustee Kent Crosby from VVUHSD, and James Campbell, the president of the NAACP up here in the High Desert, who's right back here. James Campbell, who's the president of the NAACP up here. And our plan is to reach out and love the Black kids and their parents, love them all the way here to VVC.
Oh, I love that.
And James Campbell is going to be instrumental in building the bridge between us and the districts. And the last thing I have to say is every student is welcome here at Victor Valley College. And if you don't feel welcome and you feel like you're not connected, all you have to do, anybody out there, get a hold of any one of us and we'll help.
Individual board reports.
Start with our individual board reports with our student trustee.
All right, I have quite a lengthy report tonight. So I also attended the Black History Month celebrations, including the Black Expo, the Art Open Gallery, and the Black History Month outreach. I attended the STEM Resource Fair February 27th. This Thursday through Tuesday, myself, ASB, and a few student at larges will be leaving for Washington, D.C. again for ASAC. Happy Women's History Month. And finally, on February 14th, ASB, and one of the students who worked on this is Jacob Kleinsmith. Would you like to stand up?
Oh, he loves that.
Yes. We worked on writing.
Take a bow, Jacob.
We worked on writing state-level resolutions and submitted them to SSCCC. We ended up submitting 3 resolutions. 100% of our resolutions made it through. So April 5th through 7th, we will be attending General Assembly to go and defend our resolutions. Those resolutions would be the expansion of CalFresh, EBT, to campus and state-operated food services, recognition of esports at the collegiate level by California Community Colleges Athletic Association, and clarifying the ranking system used for state funding of student housing on California community colleges. Thank you. And that would be it for tonight. Thank you.
Those are VVC students.
Okay.
Trustee,
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's-
Trustee Henderson.
Yeah, well, I don't have a lot to report on.
I got lost.
I guess I'm over here. I don't have a whole lot to report on, but not as much as she did. But I just wanted to say that when I came back from DC, I was a mess. I mean, sicker than a dog. And I don't know if it was the Ethiopian food or what it was.
All the alcohol?
All the alcohol, yeah, that could have been it. That could have been it. But the Ethiopian food.
When you run them over, you run them over.
Yeah.
Damn, Joe.
Yeah. Other than that, I recuperated and I'm fine now, so I'm good for another 2 meetings at least. Anyway,
was that 10-mile walk, trustee?
Oh,
Yeah, it was at
yeah.
9.8 miles of walking, yeah.
Yep, I have it on my tracker.
Huh?
We did it. We
I
did
did,
10
yeah.
miles. I had it on the tracker.
Just
I
do it
did.
again the next day. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You can be fine.
Yeah, that was a walk and a half.
It was fun.
Anyway, it was a good trip. And anyway, that's about all I have to say. Hope to see you. Have a great St. Patty's Day coming up here. I know my dad was Irish, and so we celebrated once a year, and it was good.
I'm Irish, we celebrate every day.
Yeah.
Trustee, I've always said on
some
St.
of us-
Patty's Day is the one day we shouldn't drink.
Some of us celebrate more than others.
Trustee Wood?
Since coming back from the DC trip, there hasn't been a whole lot. It's been pretty quiet. So
Yeah, real quiet.
we did have a fabulous dinner with the president, our new friend. Thanks to Robert setting that up. That was more of a I would say a social professional.
We're basically best friends with him now.
Yeah. Social
As
professional.
soon as you get somebody's cell phone, you are.
Okay, check.
I will say to everybody out on the campus, it was clear, being more of a social professional engagement. There was not any pressure to stand at a microphone on camera and say the right thing. We were at a very casual dinner, and he had remarkably nice things to say about our campus, about all the people that he came into contact with, what his perception of the quality of our school was. Basically, he was very impressed from the time that he spent on our campus earlier that day, and he was very impressed with the people that he met. And so it was a proud moment for me to hear somebody from the national level who goes to schools all over the United States say such nice things. And based on the setting, he didn't have to. We talked about all kinds of things. It wasn't just focused on the school or even on what happens in Washington, D.C. We were talking about personal stuff and travel and trips he's been on and places he's been and upcoming events. He easily could have just dodged any mention of the day that he spent here at our school if his comments were to be critical, but he volunteered the information and he had nothing but great things to say, and that reflects on everybody out there. Maybe a little bit Dan, not much, but he didn't say anything nice about Dan. It was about everyone else. But thank you to everyone and anybody watching and everybody campus-wide who left him with that impression, because he's going back to D.C., and in D.C. he's going to say great things about all of you and about our school. So that was fun. Aside from that, though, it's been pretty quiet.
Real quiet.
Trustee Tarpley?
So on my list that I wrote is our dinner with Ji-Hung Lee. It was really great to get to know him. He's kind of one of those that you kind of just see pictures of in all the little mailers, and you see him from afar. And he was really nice. He met with us when we were in DC, but that was like a quick 10-minute. He had to get through all of his meetings, where this was more information, which was really nice. And I think we built relationships and bridges, which is always good. And so did all of you that met with him. So that's really just, I'm just so proud, as always, to be a part of this organization. On a personal professional level, I'm joining the California Council on Teacher Education, and I am taking part in a risk management practitioner certification course, which sounds super exciting, I know, but super nerdy, but it is part of the many hats that I wear at my job. So that is all.
I just want to mention, in case you don't know, who Ji-Hung Lee is. The Association for Community College Trustees is the national association. He is the president and CEO of that organization, has been for quite a while. So to have him come up and visit us was a real honor, but that's what they're talking about, is we did have a dinner with him the night he was here. He spent time with the students, he spent time with Cabinet, and got very engaged with Cabinet, and I don't know anyone else. Robert, was that pretty much it? And you gave him a tour of the campus? Yeah. So anyway, not to interrupt the trustees, but just so everybody would know who they're talking about.
Did he say he loves us? Tell him we'll call him back.
Trustee Pinkerton?
Well, as in my goals, I stated where we went to the Black History celebration. And we also went to the women's basketball game. Of course, we were 2 hours late because we didn't get the memo that it started at 5. But we were there with our gear on. And the other thing, like Jennifer and Brandon said, that we met with Jihang Lee, was really had a nice time, learned a lot. I think some people were scared of John, thinking that he was a stalker.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The reason why we say that, he's did a lot of research on him before we met up with him. So, but yeah, it was really nice.
It was funny. Sorry, John.
And then the other thing is Women's History Month is coming up. And Elizabeth Duarte wanted me to remind everybody it will be on March 28th. And it looks like we have some really good speakers. Dr. Nakia Wilson, Dr. Sandy Visser-Jones, Annette Vanquist, and Reza Barillas, Vida, what's her last name? Vida Pazarin, and Michelle Vasquez, and Amanda Upgrove. So it's going to be really good. And that's it for me.
Thank you. I attended with the Pinkertons and with Chris Piercy, the Victor Valley Union High School District. I had to leave a little bit early, so I didn't get a chance to get up on the stage. Had a great opportunity, really a great opportunity to walk our new educational conference center with Dr. Walden and John and Morley. And I gotta say this, John, I mean, we know you're gonna be retiring one of these days, and you've been a great asset. Morley is just a really dedicated, you could feel it when you walked around how much he cares about this campus. So that was fun. I thought the dinner was great with Dr. Lee, and that's about it. So with that, Dr. Walden, you want to go into your?
Yeah, we'll start with ASB goals.
All right, my turn again. So for goal updates tonight, I have that Club Rush was on February 20th and 21st, and we're now up to 25 clubs chartered. There was a financial literacy workshop on March 6th, and there were 2 student spotlights for February on the Rams Monthly on pages 8 and 11 if you're curious. Thank you.
All right, we don't have a facilities update tonight, so Chris, or who was supposed to give the foundation?
She's back
Oh,
there.
Kirsten.
She's still
Okay.
getting with the basketball.
I mean, don't act like surprised that she's here, spin her the whole time.
Her.
Well, she tells me a lot of things, and I thought maybe she told me she wasn't gonna be here. Yes, come on up, and she's got an introduction to do tonight, too.
I will save that for at the end of my presentation.
Okay.
Ooh, thank you.
Our foundation quarterly report. So, and I believe I emailed it to all of you as well.
Yes, you did. I
Yes.
read it. I love it.
So the California for Community College Foundations has selected their Philanthropist of the Year. And I'm really pleased to share with you all that it is the California Rotary Clubs and Rotary Foundation that are receiving, they're going to be honored. And they have given over $3.3 million to California community colleges aggregately since the inception. And we have received over $70,000 of that amount from Apple Valley and Victorville. And they've asked us to provide them some media and testimonials, so I'd like to share with you what I presented to them.
Congratulations, Rotary Club. Congratulations, Rotary Club. Congratulations, Rotary Club, on being Philanthropist of the Year. My name is Luke, and I'm a student at Victor Valley College.
Hi, my name is Jacob Kleinsmith, and I'm a history major at Victor Valley College.
I used my scholarship money on books to significantly reduce the burden that I had.
Receiving a scholarship not only allowed me to pay for my tuition, but it also helped me with the extra costs that come with going to college. like books and gas and food.
Well, this scholarship is more than just financial assistance. It's more of hope and recognition of hard work.
The Victor Valley College Foundation is so grateful to have received over $70,000 from local Rotary clubs.
Thank you, Rotary Club.
Thank you, Rotary Club.
Thank you, Rotary Club.
So I'm really hoping they take our video and cut it into their celebration, and I'll be excited to share that with all of you when they do. Scholarship update. We have over 1,400 applications to date. It closes this Friday. And so we're really on the upswing of that. Not all of them will complete their applications. We know that that's been a struggle, but I think we'll have well over 500, and that will be our highest amount since I've been at the foundation and ever in the foundation. So that's really good news. Our Hall of Fame is June 8th at the Hilton Garden. I know, I'm so sorry, Trustee Tarpley, that you have other plans, but I understand, with having to move dates, I understand next year it's the fourth Saturday in February at the Event Center. So we already know that for sure. And we have one more surprise nomination to make, so I can't quite share with you yet all of the honorees, but at next board meeting, I will be able to share that with you. And then also, with that being said, we have a new employee in our foundation office. I'd like to bring up Glennis Duncan. And Glennis is our program manager for grant development, and I'll let her say a few words.
Good evening. I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really happy for the support from everyone here, and I'm really glad to be back. Woo!
And we are absolutely thrilled. Yeah, we're absolutely thrilled to have her back. You're right, Brandon. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Yes. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
So, I can't remember who's doing this, but legally, there it is. His name's Henry Young. Dr. Young is going to give a required report. This is mandated by the state of California that you get a report on distance education at a board meeting. So here we go.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity, and I want to say thank you to the Board of Trustees, of course, our illustrious student trustee, and President Walden. I just want to talk real quickly about a couple of things in terms of the development of DE. But before I do that, I want to recognize my bosses, Dr. Tarango, who empowers me every day to do the work, and more importantly, Dr. Scott, my direct bosses. Also, yes. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Jamie Cooper, our most recently hired last year DE coordinator, who is just an amazing researcher and tactician in the DE world. And then, of course, Michelle Laveau, our Canvas administrator. Slide, please. Next up. All right. So our work in DE, like all of our academic programs, are really driven by two plans: our Ed Master Plan, and then our institutional self-evaluation report. This is not, yes, okay, great. Hope you can see that. And the key, I wanted to just align this, and I'll talk about just a couple of things, how DE is related to the plans that we have here at the college, share a little bit of data regarding our faculty and our students in terms of the numbers of DE or online courses, hybrid courses that we offer. And then as well, talk a little bit about survey data that we've gleaned from our faculty and students in terms of what we need. And then lastly, just talk about our projections. So as I mentioned, the Ed Master Plan is our guiding document. I'm gonna put my glasses on, I'm getting a little, okay. Our distance education department is viewed as an integral part of the district's vision, mission, and goals. And again, as I look at that, the academic achievement, workforce development, and professional growth are the key tenets in that. Of course, we want to build an infrastructure and achieve ideal distance learning environments. And so we do that on a daily basis, as I mentioned, through the support of Dr. Walden, funding that we have for DE. And then the end goal is for us to be accredited, right? To make sure we have our accreditation. And in order to keep that, the DE program continues to develop and deploy distance education training as related to ADA compliance, as well as a new and burgeoning thing that we're looking at becoming a teaching college, that is for us to offer online classes to all students in California, right? But we still have some steps to become a teaching college. And lastly, to really underpin the quality of DE, we're going to be developing what we call a peer online course review team that reviews our DE courses, online courses, hybrid courses, to ensure that there is quality. Next slide. So in that vein, to make that happen, currently we have 494 online classes that we offer, about 35% of our offerings, and then in hybrid, about 8% or 113. Instructors, we are continuously training our instructors, new instructors, and our existing instructors to develop that high quality of pedagogy and development. Our instructors, we have about 250 full-time online certified and 258 part-time, as well as 77 full-time and 132 part-time hybrid instructors. We service about 17,376 students in terms of online enrollments, and we're up, like, of course, the college is up year over year, about 12% from our fall of 23, and about 2,171 hybrid courses. Next slide. So how do we do this? Of course, building quality of DE through training and instruction. We have monthly trainings that the DE coordinator implements for all of our faculty to be involved with. And currently we have 2 cohorts that are going right now that are for us to train our new, faculty. 1 spring cohort, 2 spring cohorts, one's that's gonna finish in about a week, and then we'll start with our second. And right now, we have about 479 certified online instructors. So this is the way we make it work. Next slide. One of the things that's crucially important is our support to students. How do we support students in their journey? It was really interesting to see the basketball team, and they talked about their GPAs because we want the GPAs and the learning to be the highest. So we have 2 elements that have been created, a cultivating resiliency toolbox. And what this enables our faculty to do is actually pull information on how they can impact teaching and also bring in inclusivity in their online courses. And secondly, we have an online student success resource for students to use when they have problems. Next slide. So in this, we've had a couple of surveys, and I'll finish here real quickly. Faculty has said some things to us like they want to make sure that we have adequate student support. And so we've developed the 2 shells that I mentioned earlier. Training for Canvas and associated softwares. Our DE coordinator does that monthly. And then we are starting this e-portfolio where we're actually have a group of 5 faculty that are working to develop competency-based e-portfolios to increase our quality. Students, I would be remiss not to include them. They want more communication. They also want flexibility in policies and also Canvas to be used more efficiently. And so we are doing regular training. I think this is second to last slide. So where are we going? Faculty are continuously improving in the DE area. Of course, we're going to continue to have these robust online certifications. And then again, as I mentioned my bosses earlier, advocating for greater budget support in this area, and also increasing our staffing alignments that are necessary for the projected graph here. Can you go to the back, that slide right before this one? One more, and one more, one more. There you go. I did want to mention, I do apologize, the retention and success rates of our online classes. I thought this was a very valuable tool in the BLAR division. We're about 90% retention and about 71% success rate. Of course, you can see the other. So I did want to show you that because I felt that that's an important data point for our program. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
I do. In the slide where you did the student survey,
Yes.
And it was 0.2 of the student.
Can you
what
go
the
back to
students
that?
want. Yeah. If we can find it.
I know, right?
They said that they want flexibility in policies. I
Mhm.
just was wondering if you could elaborate, if you know.
Sure.
Just off the top.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're finding across campus is the disproportionately impacted in some of our students and the lack of resources that they have. So extended deadlines, and in some cases like no deadlines for assignments. Other ways in which faculty can give students flexibility in terms of learning. So we think it's important that we listen to the students because, times are changing, people are changing, our education system is changing. And so we're hoping to really bring in some more culturally responsive pedagogy and practices that will help to students in this area.
So then, I mean, just spitballing, that would be flexibility in deadlines, meaning they could go as fast as they wanted to go.
They could go as fast
accelerate also,
or as slow.
Or as slow.
Right, as long as it's within the 8, 12, or 16
And then
week.
if they didn't finish a course, for
Mhm.
example, it would just roll to the next semester if they enrolled.
Well, no, that I
They
don't.
would have to start again.
Yes.
So there would be a deadline. It would be
Most
semester.
definitely, yes.
I mean, you gotta create some kind of incentive.
There are online schools where they just roll it over. They just roll it over. They just roll it over. So I was just curious.
Yeah, we'd have to get Academic Senate
We have a
involved.
thing called the Ed Code in California,
I mean, it's a thing. It is a thing.
so that is a thing that we have to go by. Doesn't allow for that.
No, but
A
I'm just
student-
saying-
A student can do an incomplete in a class
Right.
with the consent of the instructor. But you can't just roll over to the next without the student's agreement and the instructor's agreement. They have to agree together.
Just curious. I was just curious. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope that helped.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Great work.
Thank you. So I'm gonna do 8.6 before I do 8.5. 8.6, this last month, we had a visit from the accrediting team. And they came into the office and had a private conversation with me. But I want to share one of the things that I know that is okay to share. I was told by the chair of the accrediting visiting team that Victor Valley College has one of the cleanest campuses the team has seen in the state of California.
Wow.
And I just think that is, and I said, and Todd was there with me. I asked if I could bring Todd in because I need a bodyguard. I don't know what he was gonna tell me, but anyway, no, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So I wanted a second pair of ears, but I said, what's interesting about this? I said, most campuses, before a team comes and visits, they make sure they run through and clean everything up. We didn't do that. What you see is the way this campus is every single day. And so kudos to our maintenance and operations and facilities. In fact, this last All College and Service Day, we gave an award. We're gonna start doing this every year to the Department of the Year, who got the most shout outs and the most positive feedback, and it was maintenance and operations. Excited about that. Now, she could not be here tonight because she fell ill. I'll have to find out if she's really ill, because I know she's mostly bashful. But Gabby Callender has taken over the leadership and management position of what used to be called our bookstore. I don't know what it's going to be called in the future because she's very creative, as you know, and so she is now officially over there as the manager of the bookstore, and she's got an interior decorator coming in, and so she's going to turn the world upside down.
Yes, queen.
And of course, we miss her in the office, but we have acquired the services of Haley Teeter, who you may not know is Michelle's daughter.
Oh, wow.
And Haley, stand up. And she is just a bubbly ball of energy and wants to please and anxious to do the job. And so, of course, she's just working out of class right now, but we're publishing the position, and she is certainly free to apply. So thank you. So you may be, when you're interacting with our office, just know that we have a new Gabby, and that's Haley.
New Gabby.
A new Gabby.
The new Gabby.
That's a new
And
name, the new
Gabby.
Gabby.
And then
Hey, new Gabby.
Michelle is going to be leaving us as of June 30th.
We reject it.
And
Sorry.
I wish I could do that. I would just tear
It's a
that up.
thing.
But
I read it's a thing somewhere.
I don't know, presidents don't have that kind of power, I guess, but we wish her best, and she thinks this is her time. So we are recruiting for that position as well, and we'll be seeing what happens with that whole process, as well as John Nolan, who has also turned in his resignation as effective of June 30th. So we're looking for a new chief business officer, and I have to chair those 3 committees. So isn't that something? I'm going to be busy throughout the spring. So anyway, I wanted to make sure I shared those things with you. Now I'm going to go back to 8.5. You have my slide presentation, right?
Hope so.
So our educational master plan has a section in there called the Pursuit of Excellence. And so when we were divvying up the responsibilities of getting this plan implemented, the president's office took on the task of this section of the educational master plan, which you as a board approved and officialized as the official document for the district. So along with Michelle, her and I mostly have been working on this with a team of, there's a total of 10 of us, counting Michelle and I. And that 10 of us decided, okay, we need to operationalize this part of the educational master plan. This is our job. So we left these other folks to do the rest of it. And so we got this team of 10, and we agreed that we were going to send out a campus climate survey on the essential practices that were in the educational master plan. So that group of 10 developed a survey, and we had it distributed by a company, a third-party company, because we wanted everybody to know that we didn't have access to their answers, and they could say whatever they want to say, and we'd just get the results. So we used that company, People Element, and in 2021, we sent out our baseline survey. And the survey was measuring campus climate, morale, things like that. Then when we got the results back, we were not so happy, but we had 5 areas that were below 50% response, a positive response. They were kind of in the toilet for us. So we just said, we're going to take these 5 elements and we're going to divide the team up into 5 sections. So 2 people on each element, and we're going to work, each of the teams is going to, sub-teams are going to work on doing something about this element on campus. So Michelle and I took one, the rest of the groups took one, and we started working on them to see, okay, how can we change this particular outcome on the survey? And originally we were going to do it every year, but by the time we got through all the things that it took to get it all done and have our meetings and work out with all the other stuff that we do in our day jobs, it took us a couple of years before we were ready to measure. So in fall of '23, we issued the same exact survey again to the campus. And this is, I'm going to show you real quickly. I shared this with the college on a chat, President's Chat a while back. And so I'm going to share it here today with the board. Next slide. There we go. So what was our participation? Well, first of all, having done some recent calculations, we do not have more than 850 employees, and that's counting all of our adjunct faculty. So I don't know how in November of '21 that we had 909 invited, but evidently we have some old emails laying around where people are no longer here, and I guess they got an email and they don't even have access to the account because it's cut off when they leave. And then in '23, 1,292. So Jay is going to work with me in cleaning this up so that we can figure out what is the real response rate. So you can ignore that first part about total invited, because I don't believe there's any way to measure that other than if you want to look at the number of 850. But the total responses in November 21 were 301. And then in November of 23, we had 274. We offered in both scenarios, we did everything the same because we wanted to be fair, $50 gift certificates for participants. So what People Element did is they drew randomly out of the what was the 301, and then it was 274 this year, and sent us the 50 names, and we gave them their $50 gift card. So it was about a $2,500 investment. All right, so next. So what did we find out? So what is favorability? Favorability means that on the measures, they said, we agree or we strongly agree. In other words, I feel positive about this on the campus, or I really feel positively about this. And then there was a neutral category. So it was a 5-point Likert scale. And then what is a negative? A negative is disagree or strongly disagree. So in 21, overall, we had 43% negative responses. When we measured the campus.
No, 43%.
Oh, right, sorry, thank you. I can look at Brandon because he's always going to correct me, but that's a good correction. 43% answered things agree or strongly agree, okay? And you can see that it was 43% positive, 29% were neutral, and 29% were negative. But in November of 23, that number jumped to 59% agree and strongly agree. And then notice the negative, or the neutral part went down. So more people had an actual opinion of 21% from 29%, and then the negative decreased from 29% to 20%. So, you know, before Michelle gave me the results, I had this, you know, I guess it was a pessimistic thing. I thought, it's going to be just like it was. Nothing's going to have changed. But I was so excited to get the results and find out things have actually gotten better in regard to the campus climate and morale of our employees. So this is employees only that are getting this. All right, next slide. We'll go quickly. I just want to give you the categories that we were measuring. We were measuring leadership and governance, strategy, culture, and architecture and discipline. I mean, how things are organized. Okay? So in 21, leadership and governance was 44%, and strategy, I'm sorry, that shifted there, I see, went to 59%. Strategy was 44% in 21, moved to 63%. Culture, overall culture, 43% in 21, went to 56% in 23. And then architecture and discipline, 39% in 21 and 56% in 23. Next slide. And so these were three of our, I don't know if I can read them from here, but mainly what I'm wanting to point out here is not necessarily read all the different elements, is just show you the highest rated items in the 21 survey. Oh, thank you, Tim. I can read that. The highest rated items, look, were 55%, 60%, and 52%. But the highest rated items in the most recent survey were 73%, 72%, and 67%. Just dramatic in the highest rank. Let's look at the lowest rank now. Next slide, right. Well, these are more of the highest rated items. I'll just go ahead. I had more time in the chat. All right, the lowest rated items. Can you do that magic thing again? Okay, there we go. So last time our lowest rated items were 28%, 34%, and 34%. This time, 40% was our lowest rated, and 49 and 49 were the next lowest rated. Everything else was the majority of the campus feeling positive and strong about where we're headed as a college and what it's like to be here on this campus as an employee. Are there any more slides? Are there any more slides? Okay, well, just to tell you what we're going to do. So our little team of 10 got together and said, all right, because last time the goal was we're going to take these 5 items that were all, down in the 30 and 20% stuff, and our goal was to get them above 50%, just as a first step, right? So this time, since we didn't have any below 49%, we only had 3 below 49%, we decided to combine 2 of them, which are about governance and how decisions are made on campus, and half of us are going to work on that, and the other one is going to work on the VVC continuously seeks ways to free up resources, especially people from labor-intensive task activities, to focus more, that's better, more time on what matters for students, okay? So half of the team's gonna work on that top one, and we're combining these next 2 with the efforts of the next 5, and that's how we're gonna go forward. And I don't know if we will do it again this next fall or wait 2 more years, wait 2 years, but whatever is appropriate so that we can get the most accurate information. And I'm looking forward to reporting back to you again that these numbers are continuing to rise as we work our way through this. So somehow, just working on the 5, all the ships rose together and everything went up. And I really believe in that principle. And so now what you could really say is we got 20% that have a negative view of the campus. The rest of the people are either not saying much, or else they're really feeling positive. And I feel good about that. Thank you.
Maybe suggest you double the amount of gift cards. Be surprised, money talk.
Hey, can I get $250 from you?
Yeah.
$250 from me, trustee.
I'm gonna make a motion that we take a 9-minute break and come back at 7:35. Technology break.
I'm down. Thank goodness.
Maybe if you gave everybody Bill would be.
You shouldn't have.
Did you say John is leaving?
But we do a lot of surveys and they put up plans.
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know when we drive home, we say, Joe is probably already in bed.
No, seriously. I'm walking to take a sleeping pill. I'll be in bed in 10 minutes.
Thank you for that break, Joe.
Surely.
Yes, that was perfectly timed.
Don't call me Shirley.
Surely. That was my favorite.
I didn't
I
get
always
my
say to Deb, surely.
They're gone anyway.
I know.
Don't call me Shirley.
Every time she called me. Okay, so we're gonna call. Hello?
Nope, not tonight.
Thank you. Do we have any report from the Academic Senate tonight?
No, they're not here.
Do we have a report from AFT part-time?
I think they left.
Do we have a report from the ASB?
Yes, would my students like to come down real quick?
You're presenting checks?
Maybe for me.
Huh?
Are you presenting it to me?
No.
Would you guys like to
Oh my
show your
goodness.
awards? There's a lot of us tonight, so you're gonna have to spread out. Let's spread out.
Hey, the basketball team fit in the corner.
Did they?
Oh,
Well, I want them to show you guys their goodies.
Which one? Never been.
Both.
Okay.
Single file line.
Where's
So-
the link to Christmas Carol?
Back in December, specifically December 1st through 3rd, we attended the SSCCC Advocacy Academy. And lately, they gave us certificates for completion of it. So we came to show you guys that ours finally came in the mail this week. Someone who couldn't be here but also got one was Angela Perdomo. She works up in the ASB office, and she has helped ASB significantly over the past few years. She is with her daughter tonight, welcoming her new grandson. So she couldn't be here, but this is my presentation for you tonight. Is our little awards from SSCCC. Thank you.
Can we get a picture? Hold on.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Richard, come on, slide on the right. Yeah, you
Smile
got it.
big.
You got it.
His name's Richie, not Jacob.
Yeah, I call.
The senior senator.
Okay.
Thank you.
Richard Hero over here, y'all.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you guys.
And the rest I fit into my
Do we
trusty.
have anybody from the CSEA?
Oh, were you done?
I'm done. Yeah, we're good.
Nope. Do we have anybody from the C?
Wait.
Do we have?
What are you saying, Tim?
CCA.
Oh,
We're blessed with your presence, huh?
I don't know if blessed is the right word.
Well, I always like to listen to you.
Why, thank you, sir. Good evening, trustees.
Good evening.
Our CSEA president apologizes for her absence. She is dealing with a family emergency today. So she sent me something she'd like me to say. Good evening, Dr. Walden and Board of Trustees. I will keep it short. I just want to say that we are disappointed that the initial proposals for the sunshine items were not on the agenda for tonight's meeting. We submitted our initial proposal to the district on February 21st in the hopes that we could begin negotiations since our current contract expires June 30th. The sooner we start negotiating, the sooner we can be done. CSEA is prepared to begin negotiations in April. Thank you. On behalf of all of CSEA, we'd like to wish the ASB a successful trip to DC. You represent us well. We are proud of you. Thank you.
You deliver a good speech. Do we have CTA?
no,
Nope. Do we have management?
yes.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
Technology break.
You know, yeah. Do I have a motion for technology break? Do I have a
Is
second?
Ricky still here? Richie, did you leave? You left? Okay, that's okay.
All righty. Thank you for having us, Elizabeth Duarte. And thank you for, allowing us to present today on my area with Dean Young, EVP Scott, Arthur Lopez, Dean Edward Alvarez. I get to work with the best of both worlds, instruction and student success. So, Board of Trustees, the best thing about the job that I do with our faculty, with our tutors, is assisting our students when they're having challenges in their courses. So as you can see up on the slide, I oversee 6 learning centers, including our computer lab. The Math Success Center last year had 14,632 visits. Tutoring and academic support had 4,360 visits. The Communication Center had 5,643 visits. The Achievement Center had 3,195 visits. The Writing Center, you dimmed it, had 4,354 visits. The Computer Lab for Assignments had 2,230 visits. So what does that mean? That means that if you total up the students in each of our centers, we served 6,816 students in 2023 in one or all of our centers. Do you know the total of enrollment at VVC? Who knows that? What does that mean? Half of the students are visiting the centers that I oversee with the faculty, with tutors, and with our classified team. So, keep us funded. Also, what best way to hear but from the student voice? I work with great tutors who will work one day in education, who might work in psychology and research. Working with our great research team on campus, I was able to also get the retention rates, the success rates, which are very high if students attend and use our services in tutoring and academic support. So with the student voice, let's go ahead and hear that feedback. So this is G, he works in the Writing Center.
Hello, and here is a email saying, "Hi Elizabeth, I saw you while I was trying to go for a walk around the lake. I met a couple amazing people as I went who were advertising this tutoring services, and I expressed my extreme level of gratitude for the Writing Center that I had just come from, finishing a report for my winter class. I got to share a little with you about agriculture and its healing and therapeutic properties. They know me well there. I am very thankful for the help I have received from the tutoring and writing centers. I do not know how to express my gratitude for their time and effort they have sacrificed to me with my learning. I am a returning student and have not only come back to college to help in a career path, but also find myself in healing. Thank you." That is from a student.
Wow.
And Jaren, who actually works in our tutoring by subject out in the mall area. And when students need computers, we have 111 computers in our mall area. And I actually had a referral from our former board trustee, John Pinkerton, and this is what this student had to say.
Good evening, board. Greetings, Elizabeth. I felt like I was treated like a VIP. Everything was awesome, and I passed the test. I simply cannot thank you enough. Best regards, Stephen V. Klein.
So whether a student has mental health and agriculture gives them therapy, our services in the Writing Center are VIP, or a former student here and now a veteran working with the Apple Valley Police Force, coming to take a test in our mall area and getting that feedback, where do we take it from here? So what's going to happen now, because we did redesign that TC Mall in our learning centers, we are stable. We have our IAs in our labs as of February fully staffed. This spring, I'm working with institutional research with Janice Espinosa, and we are serving those students. We're going to survey the students to make sure that we are providing the excellent service that they deserve in each of our centers. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see, I'm very passionate about the work I do, and I go above and beyond. But do you guys have any questions?
You're great at the work you do.
Thank you, and with our team.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item 10, consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the board trustees to be routine and have been approved by the superintendent president. under Board Policy 2430. There will be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time of the board votes on them unless a board member requests a specific item to be removed from the consent agenda for discussion and a separate vote. Public comment on consent items from anyone completing a card will be heard prior to the board vote on the consent agenda. 10.1, public comment announcement related to the consent agenda items. The complete written request to address the board shall be submitted before the beginning of the open session portion of the meeting. This is the opportunity for the public to address the board on any consent agenda items. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual, total of 15 minutes per topic. Speakers will be timed electronically, and all speakers will be called to the podium to speak at the appropriate time to address the board. Only those who have been recognized by the board president will be permitted to speak under Board Policy 2350. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Henderson. Student trustee?
Yes.
Item 11, action agenda. The complete written request to address the board shall be submitted at the beginning of the open session portion of the meeting. Individuals who want to comment on action items may do so after being recognized by the board president and before board discussion of a particular item during the meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual, a total of 15 minutes per topic. Speakers will be timed electronically, and all speakers will be called upon at the appropriate time to speak. Only those who have been recognized by board president will be permitted to speak according to Board Policy 2350. Do we have any public comments tonight, Michelle?
No.
No? No comments. Section 12, Board Trustees Action Agenda. 12.1, separate approval of items pulled from the consent agenda? None. None. Number 12.2, we have Board Resolution, Women's History Month.
Motion.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
You'll bear with me. Would
I
one of the
want to read
ladies?
it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Trustee Tarpley?
Who was the second?
Me.
Both said me.
Huh?
Either way.
Wood?
So we had a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Henderson.
Oh.
All right. Deb says I have selected hearing, so that was one of those.
I heard Wood, you heard Henderson, so I
On a motion of Member Tarpley, seconded by Member Henderson, the following resolution is hereby adopted. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas American women have played and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social roles in every sphere of the life of our nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas did I get it right? Yes. Whereas despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in literature, teaching, and study of American history. And whereas Victor Valley Community College, as a public institution of higher learning, is dedicated to providing opportunities for all people so that they can reach their highest potential. And whereas the passage of Public Law 100-9 officially established March as National Women's History Month. And whereas Women's History Month is an opportunity for all Americans to commemorate the struggles
and victories of American women in our history and their invaluable contributions to society. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Victor Valley Community College District proclaims March 2024 as National Women's History Month.
Thank you. Trustee, student trustee?
Yes.
Thanks, Michelle. She bailed me out. Assist by Michelle. Did you tell your new associate that she has to help out us old guys every once in a while? Did you tell your new associate she has to help out us old guys every once in a while? Item 12.3. Vote for the CCCT Board of Election. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Henderson. Discussion?
I have a list of who I'd like to see us vote for, but I'm open to discussion. And I think we have the same list.
I spoke to Greg Penza, who's a current board member. He's been on there for years from John Hancock. He said, Joe, there's 7 incumbents, including me. We're all doing the job of representing the interests of the California Community College, so vote for 7 incumbents. I talked to Jim Marino, who was, I think, the 3-time president of the association. He said for the first time he got 7 incumbents and everybody's working together. And he said, you don't want to break it apart. I did hear from Diana McKay, who retired from Ventura. She wanted Mrs. Gaines from the Antelope Valley. But again, if you've got 7 incumbents that are working well, it's like the 5 of us and taking one out of the group. Now all of a sudden you don't have the
We
same.
can't have that.
Yeah, you can't do that. So I believe that we should go with the incumbents.
So that is exactly the list that I have, including my mentor, Nan Gomez Heitzberg from Kern. So if you want, Michelle, I'll read you the list. It is Nan Gomez Heitzberg from Kern, Hortensia Armendariz from Imperial, Barbara Calhoun from Compton, Yvette Davis from Glendale, Greg Penza from Allen Hancock, Bernardo Perez from Ventura County, and Deborah Aikita from State Center.
She can share that.
I
list
can
with
give you this
so
list right here.
I have it circled.
So 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, and 11. The ones with the little stars by them.
I just need a moment to add their names to the motion.
Student trustee?
Yes.
Yes?
Almost there.
We'll wait for. John, I really hope the new boardroom has better circulation of air than this one does.
Oh, I know, this side is so freezing, and
Is
then
it
that
really?
side
This
gets
side is
hot. I'm
so
like,
stuffy.
oh.
Wow.
This building is not really state of the art.
There's a lot of,
Best statement of the
this building is like really old. Used to have a convenience store in here, you know, it tells you how old it is.
It probably was in 1910.
Yeah,
Online voting's open, guys.
13
Just
point,
FYI, click your buttons.
I clicked it, you clicked, you got it.
Clicky, clicky.
Are we all done? 13.1, foundation donations,
We love those.
motion,
Motion.
do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Walden,
$244,993.
congratulations.
We say yes, please.
Student trustee,
Yes.
Thirteen point two, approval of resolution authorizing an increase to board member monthly compensation from $240 to $400 effective July 1. Oh, wow, 2023, due to an increase in full-time equivalent students pursuant to Education Code 72024, subparagraph A, paragraph 3, and board policy 2725. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, a
So-
motion by trustee Henderson and a second by trustee Pinkerton.
If I could just comment that the amount that a board member can receive as a stipend, certainly not a salary, is set by the Ed Code. And in 2022-23, the college went over the 10,000 FTES, moving it into a middle college,
Middle college, what do you call it? Medium?
medium-sized college. And we'll track this as the numbers go up, the stipend can go up, but anyway. So officially, we became designated as a Schmidtial college, whatever it is you said, July the 1st, 2023, okay? So then they gave us the middle college base allocation, which was an additional $2.1 million. And that then allows the trustees to go into the next category in the Ed Code, which is $400 per month. So since it started July the 1st, this action will be retroactive to July the 1st, 2023, and you all earn every dime of it. So it's just a stipend.
I want to be able to get a coat like Mr. Lopez.
I mean,
You
he's
save
got a
your
guy, he'll give you
$400
the
a
number.
month? Save your $400 a month
Only if
for
you
3
went to
months.
CNR, but they're all gone, right? Okay, thank you, Dr. Walden. Item 14, 14.1.
We have to vote.
Oh,
We have to vote.
trustee, student trustee.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that was close.
That's why I love her.
I was already picking out the color, you know?
He was just thinking about the bank.
Love it.
Online voting's open?
Clicky, clicky,
Oh.
everybody.
You know, I was looking up there to vote.
Sorry if that was.
Dennis is voting no.
I'm voting no. Yeah. Who wants the extra money?
Great. 14.1, resolution of necessity, number 24-03, Cooley Construction, Inc. Dr. Walden.
Do the first and second, and John will talk.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
trustee Tarpley, second by trustee Henderson.
Okay, this resolution is required for us to get some work done on the road next to the, adjacent to the stadium project. So in 2020, when we were in planning phase of this project, the architect went out and did a survey of all the area, which included Fish Hatchery Road. So with the new event center, there's curb and gutter that's gonna be new on the west side of Fish Hatchery Road. So subsequent to that survey in 2020, which was done by the architects, LPA Architects, for the base drawings of the project, the college did a paving project on Jacaranda around to Fish Hatchery, which added 6 inches of asphalt to the roadway. Lo and behold, when they laid out and poured all the sidewalks on Fish Hatchery, the adjacent road was 6 inches higher. So it was a mistake on our part as a district, but it's outside the scope of the work for the contractor. So we have to kind of transition that 6-inch slope farther down on Jacaranda towards the curb on the north side of the project. So in an effort to save about $70,000 in markups, we could have put it into the project and issued a change order, but it would have cost about $70,000 in markups to do that. So since that part of the work is outside the project, we've chosen to do the project directly with Cooley, contracting directly, which saves us that markups on both the contractor and the architect. So that's pretty much what happened.
So do you have to scrape it down? Do you have to?
Yeah, they're gonna grind it down and then transition it to where it's, we don't wanna just have a big 6-inch cliff.
Where would it daylight out if is it 6 inches higher down at Bear Valley coming back?
No, it's 6 inches on the north side.
So you're just gonna feather it down towards?
It'll feather back towards
Bear Valley.
SVL, towards SVL. It's on this end of the project. It's on the north end of the project. No, but we've got a,
Okay, that's where it goes.
that's where the issue is, yeah, on the north side.
Where's it drain into? It doesn't drain the golf course, does it?
No, it's not gonna drain the golf course.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
You bet.
Student trustee?
Yes.
When are they gonna do that work anyway? How soon?
Probably starting next week.
Okay. Agreement of renewal, CDW Government LLC. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion from trustee Tarpley and a second from trustee Pinkerton. Dr. Walden.
Whoa, that's from
Oh, senior moment.
This is an annual renewal that will support our continued use of Wi-Fi on campus.
That's kind of.
Hardware
Hardware.
and software maintenance agreement for 3 years for these little things right up here. That's called a WAP, Wi-Fi Access Point.
Student trustee?
Yes.
.1, non-classified short-term employees. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
A motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Pinkerton. Dr. Walden?
Monthly.
Monthly? Student trustee?
Yes.
The next three items are academic equivalency granted by the Academic Senate to the individuals mentioned in those 3 items.
So I could do those 3 together.
If it's okay with Michelle? Yes.
Michelle?
So we'll do one motion and a second, and a student advisory for all 3?
Did you post already? Yes. Okay, great. So I'm going to make a motion. I'm going to bring 15.2 academic equivalency for Rudy Alvarez, 15.3 academic equivalency from Michelle Ann Capon, and 15.4 academic equivalency for Kathleen Connor. Do I have a motion for all 3?
Motion?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Henderson. Student trustee?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
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 Just give her a minute to get those in.
We can almost hear a pin drop, you know? 15.5, new management job classification salary placement for event planner. Dr. Walden?
Motion?
A motion?
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Pinkerton. Dr. Walden?
It's outside the mission of the college, and would be a problem for ACCJC for us to go into the fundraising business of using our facilities. So it's a natural fit for the foundation. So this is a job description that would allow us to hire an event planner we would put them in an office in the Educational Event Center, and this person would report directly to Kirsten and the foundation. And their job would be to utilize college facilities to raise money. And the intent is that they eventually are able to raise enough money through commercial ventures that would cover the expense of running the foundation, so that all the salaries, the long-term goal, once we have the income coming in, there'd be a special account created, and all of the employees of the foundation would be paid out of that account. So that's the long-term goal. It'll take us a while to get there, but I'm real excited about this because I think finding the right person who knows how to make connections out in the business world of entertainment. I know at the Adelanto, that old baseball stadium there, they raise about $500,000 a year just in quinceañeras and weddings and various events that they have there. We have plenty of facilities here to raise twice that. So I just, the motto that we try to get people to accept up here is you live, work, and play. But there's not a lot to play up here. You have to go down the hill to play. But we're going to give them a place to play where they can go to a concert and hear a really well-known artist, or they can have events inside the event center, whatever. So we're going to use the hell out of those facilities.
I like it.
But not just those, but also our PAC and the SAC and other facilities we have here on campus. So that's what, this creates a special position that Monica and Kirsten and myself worked on in detail to find somebody specialized to this field. So we're looking forward to it.
And I'll just say this, I attended the last foundation board meeting, and I was glad to see after all the, where we've been and where we are now, where we're gonna go, that the emphasis is to get there, to where it's a self-supporting type of a deal, so. Student trustee?
Yes.
And what I wanted to say is Dr. Walden was very clear about it, and I was there to support that. And I think it's gonna be whoever takes it, I think it'll really have a great time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun job.
Okay, 15.6, VVCFA agreement, closing reopeners.
Motion.
Second.
So we settled with the CTA, and this is accepting all of our TAs, so.
So we had a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Pinkerton. Student trustee?
Yes.
Good answer.
Bingo. It's like shooting ducks.
You sink my battleship.
15.7, approval of resolution number 2024-05, authorizing an amendment to the professional services agreement and a one-year extension with Devaney, Pate, Morris, and Cameron LLP to continue providing professional legal services to the district through April 30th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Do we have a motion by trustee Tarpley, a second by trustee Pinkerton? Dr. Walden?
Yeah, so this kind of snuck up on us. We're going out for an RFP. Certainly this company this firm can compete along with others. And so our goal is to have the RFP done and settled and start a new contract July 1st. So all that they need, even though this is a one-year extension, the contract says up on 30-day notice, we can tell them, if they're not the one selected, that they'll be terminated after 1 month. So this frees the district up to go ahead and do its RFP, and, I mean, they may be selected, they may not be, so we'll go through that process of how the law tells us to do it.
Any discussion? I do applaud the district for, I think every major entity, every 2 or 3 years should go out and take a look at legal services, accounting services, audit services. I think sometimes we use the same company all the time, things get a little stale, a little sloppy. So while I like Mr. Morris, and we've had some good times and bad times together, I think it's good that we take a look, and I think it makes everybody sharpen their pencil a little bit more, so. Student trustee?
Yes.
Around in the corner. (16.1) curriculum changes. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Anybody? can
Second.
I'm looking, hello? We have a
Sharon said-
motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Pinkerton Dr. Walden?
Monthly.
Good. Student trustee?
Yes.
Ooh, that one's faster. Yours was slow this time.
Hmm?
Yours is up.
What about it?
To vote,
Oh, you gotta vote.
it's one of those things.
One of those things you gotta do.
Don't forget, vote in November as many times as you can.
That's terrible.
No, I'm telling you,
Just the
man.
one time that's legal.
Harvesting, whatever you want to call it. 16.2, Inland Empire Desert Region Participation Agreement number 2023/27-23-N-Strong Workforce Program. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Tarpley and a second by trustee Henderson. Any discussion, Dr. Walden?
Regional, strong workforce income to the district, $600,000.
Great.
We
Student
pay
tr-
bills with this.
Student trustee,
Yes.
put fuel in the jet.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm working on getting us a new jet, by the way, and I have a line on it, so.
Good. I might pay to sponsor the tail of it.
You hear that? Write that down.
What?
He said
Is
they
it-
pay to sponsor the tail.
I said I might pay to sponsor the tail, because that
Everybody
may not
write that
fall off.
down.
Yeah.
Write that
Well, I'll tell you,
down.
this is not the week to fly on any Boeing planes, I'll tell you that. Okay, did it go through? Okay. 16.3, contract
It's
Ed
pulled.
Sim.
It's full.
It's just pulled.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Student services action item, nope. 18, information discussion, nope. 18.1,
Well,
quarterly
you have
financials.
discussion items, they just don't vote.
That's discussion.
Yep. 18.2, distinguished service recognition. Nope.
That is for, so that's not something you vote on, but this is an employee. So it's my understanding that long-term employees here can request this. Who approves it? Is it just, they just request it?
Yeah, we review it in HR.
Okay, so it gets approved in HR, but long-term employee requests it, they get, a parking pass, parking pass free.
Say that 10
They,
times
they
fast.
get get to keep their college email,
And recognition in the catalog.
Well, if
the
they get,
recognition in the catalog, yes.
that's how you have the list. They get to keep their email once they're gone, right? Is that what you're saying?
If they
I
get
would
this-
think you'd be able to clean that
That's
email
the
list out
list.
in like a half a day, right?
What is the definition of long-term?
We have 65,000 hours.
15 years of service
Or more.
or more.
Does that go for trustees too?
We could arrange that.
Okay.
I'm
You want
getting
your
there.
email and your parking
Arrange
pass?
away.
No, I don't use the email. The parking pass, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Lowell Ranger.
Okay, adjournment is the intention.
Wait.
Yep.
I think,
Motion.
so,
No, this is just discussion.
well, we just talked about that, but we didn't name the person. Carl Durheim from the
Aw.
bookstore operations, appears to have been awarded, so.
Yes. that's
He was
right.
awarded? That's not me.
His name's not on my deal, but that's
Yeah,
good.
it's right here.
I'm
5
sorry,
minutes.
I read it.
Oh.
Did we vote
And
on
Joe, can I
No,
cut
we
in?
don't vote on it.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
1
No
second
discussion.
before adjournment.
Hey, hello?
All right, this is important. It's probably the most important thing we've done all night. I have inside information that Coach Hall, who was in here earlier this evening with his championship team, is trying to purchase championship rings
Oh, that's cool.
for all those players. He's $1,500 short. There's 35 people in this room. At $50 a piece, he's got his $1,500. Who's in? I'm in.
I'm in.
Go find me. Where is it, Brandon?
Where do you want to send?
Who's in?
Let's do it.
All right, there we go.
Who's
Can,
collecting the money?
Sewell, can we give you the money and you'll get it to him?
Well, get it to Art, he's over
Oh.
athletics.
He's not in, is he in the room?
It's,
Art?
Art's right
Lopez?
there.
it's gotta go through.
Oh. I
Go
was
through the
thinking
foundation.
Artie.
Our campus grant closed the 15th. This is perfect for him to do a campus grant, have already approve it, and submit it by Friday, the deadline. And because the most we can award is $2,500, we'll be doing
I mean, is he getting it, or do we need to just come up with some of this money right? I'm ready to pull money out of my pocket right now and donate.
That our campus grants committee will approve this.
You're like 99% sure?
She's 100% sure.
Not agenda.
So I can
Well,
afford to put gas in my Tesla to get home from the meeting
let's
tonight.
adjourn and then we can discuss since.
Well, I wanted to bring it up while everybody was,
agendized.
But
well, I wanted to
So
bring it
that-
up.
because it's not on the agenda, it'd be good to bring it up after we adjourn.
All right, I just wanted to get everybody's attention on this subject.
So hold on.
I mean, I'd like to,
So motion to adjourn.
No, I have to read the adjournment. Adjournment is the intention of Victor Valley Community College District to comply with the American with Disabilities Act in all respects. Any person with a disability may request that the agenda be made available in the appropriate alternative format. A request for disability-related modification or accommodation may be made by a person with a disability who requires a modification or accommodation in order to participate in a public meeting. To Monica Martinez. Hello? Oh. Victor Valley College, 818-422 Bear Valley Road, Victorville, 92395-5849. Call 760-245-4271, extension 2455, from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday, at least 48 hours prior to the meeting to make reasonable arrangements under Government Code Section 54954.2. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
We have a motion by Tarpley and a second by,
Can everybody just stay for a second? Okay, so we can now, because that wasn't on the agenda.
Henderson.
So go ahead, trustee. We're after,
well, what,
the meeting's over, but
So-
everybody's agreed to stay.
I mean, is the foundation sure you're gonna take care of this, or?
I'm fairly certain it will be approved.
Fairly certain.
I'm very comfortable